Every Fallout game has a way to frenzy your enemies, make them fight each other rather than you. Fallout 3 has the Mesmetron, Fallout 4 has Berserk syringes and legendary weapons, and Fallout New Vegas has a commonly overlooked unique weapon, Dr. Mobius's glove. One critical hit from this bad boy and your foes will maul each other apart like one of them posted something racist on Twitter 9 years ago. The question is, what if you wanted to be the most passive-aggressive pacifist known to man, breaking out the popcorn and watching your enemies fight each other rather than doing it yourself? A pacifist, shall I say? That brings us to the question I'm asking today. Can you beat Fallout New Vegas by only frenzying enemies? While Dr. Mobius's glove is the most reliable way to frenzy enemies, there are several other methods as well. Crippling an insect's antenna or a robot's combat inhibitor, using a terminal to remove a turret or robot's targeting data, using a flashbang on a tunneler, and killing Cookhook's pet Brahmin are just a few examples. All of these methods are on the table, however, I will be mostly relying on the glove, which brings up the issue of killing enemies by accident. To remedy this, I'll be setting my strength and unarmed skill as low as it can go, so I don't have to worry about blood on my hands. Literally. I'll also be setting my critical chance to the maximum using the console, simply because having to rely on random crits doesn't sound like a fun time. The point is to frenzy everyone and watch them fight. Actually attacking with the glove is secondary. I'll be playing on normal difficulty to hopefully equalize the damage enemies do to each other, and I'm not allowed to use any companions. Now, with all that aside, let's get started. After being shot in the head, that bullet made me so unreasonably angry that I now feel the need to spread that anger to all around me.
Why don't you just relax a second?
No, fuck you! I give the doc my name, Rage Bait, as that's basically what I'll be doing the whole playthrough. I then try to make an angry tomato Yosemite Sam looking motherfucker, and yeah, I think I did a decent job. For my stats, I go with 1 strength to minimize damage, 7 perception for a better compass and lockpick skill, 10 endurance as I'll need to take some abuse while trying to enrage my foes, 1 charisma as my entire purpose is to spread hatred, 10 intelligence for skill points, 10 agility for VATS and sneak, and 1 luck since I'll be maxing my crit chance anyways. I then picked the most violent answers to the doc's quiz.
Dog. House. Enemy. Mother. Sometimes when you give tests like this, you learn more than you was hoping for.
And tag speech, medicine, and lockpick. Speech is a failsafe, medicine for the same reason as endurance, and lockpick since extra loot is always a plus. For my traits, I ironically go with good nature to decrease my unarmed skill further, and skilled. I then spawn in Dr. Mobius's glove using the console and set my unarmed to minus 999, so low that the number on my Pip-Boy just nopes out of existence. With my unarmed skill so low, Dr. Mobius's glove now does minus 20 damage, somehow. Yeah, I think that'll do the job. I get to test the glove out right away as I knock Joe Cobb right over the bar table. Trudy then picks up a 357 and caps his sorry ass, but has the audacity to say this to me afterward.
I hope you didn't just bring a heap of trouble down in Goodsprings by killing Joe Cobb like that.
I then convince her, Chet, and the doc to help with the fight, crack open the safe in the schoolhouse, and get to work making the powder gangers tear each other to shreds.
Over here.
This brings me to level 2, where I even up some skills and get Swift Learner to counteract the negative effects of Skilled. Don't worry, I remembered to get the snow globe and cigarette butts from the graveyard before making tracks to Prim. I should mention that Mobius's glove also has a knockback effect on a critical hit, which you can use in creative ways as I demonstrate here.
Never gets old when something blows up. What was that? Aha!
In Prim, I come to the first problem with this playstyle. You can try to make all the enemies kill each other, but there's most likely going to be one left that you have no way of dealing with. I simply ignore the last convict in favor of catching up with Johnson Nash, who wants me to rescue his dog from the hotel across the street. The benefit of the knockback becomes apparent as you can literally toss frenzied enemies into a group and then back away to let them tear each other to pieces. To kill the last two convicts, I let the beagle loose and tell him to stick by my side lest I put him down, to which he executes them like a good lapdog. Only trouble is that a dog can't lead a government, so I have to put someone else in charge. I accomplish this using the power of alcoholism. Said alcoholism also leads to a blue demon Malcolm Holmes violating my personal space, so I give him a good sock in the jaw and let the NCR handle the rest. Exterminating the ants for Jackson is quite simple at first, as I'm able to enrage them all without even having to cripple their antenna. Again, the problem is dealing with the last one. Luckily, I'm able to lead him into a band of rad scorpions where he becomes their dinner. I figure I may as well discover Nipton before turning in my reward for some more EXP, so I do just that, and instead of killing Oliver Swanwick, I knock his ass all the way into the Legion, where they betray their lottery and execute the winner. Well, at least he went down swinging. For this blatant violation of lottery rules, I incite the Legion to turn on each other as well, although some of them are more focused on putting some crucified victims out of their misery. The final survivor was, unsurprisingly, Volpez, so I leave him in the middle of his men's corpses to wallow. I continue my anti-Legion spree by helping some traitors take the skirt-wearing bastards down, and since I didn't get the killing blow, it doesn't affect my reputation. But this comes at a cost, as I'm not able to get any EXP from killing things. Therefore, my main source is going to come from quests, and so I complete one for my baby easily as I already know where to look for evidence. Wow, nice shot, Boone. This gets me to level 3 where I raise Barter to 20, Science to 40, and Speech to 35. I also turn in my quest progress to Hayes and Kilbourne, which gets me to level 4, where I get Lockpick to 55 and the Comprehension perk, letting me get it to 75 with a magazine. Then, I check in with Ghost and Jackson for even more EXP. But I'm not done yet, as I go to Repconn to complete Come Fly With Me, a quest I haven't done in a while, and for good reason. Oddly enough, this glowing one was able to kill a fellow ghoul using his radiation wave attack, despite the fact radiation heals ghouls. Anyways, the rest of the place is pretty simple as I just knock down any ghouls on my path, and then I talk to radioactive Ron Hubbard about killing some demons in the basement. Instead of doing that, I opt for the much simpler solution of knocking Harland into his own mines and bear traps, reading the invoice saying the stealth boys these demons want were sent somewhere else, and with this information convince them to leave. Since I already picked up some rocket souvenirs from Cliff's closet, that just leaves the thrust modules, which I can use a Meeting People magazine to get a discount on. Also, did anybody know about the skeleton near Repconn with Absinthe, Cat Eye, and Steady? No? Just me? Okay. With that, the rockets launch, but the game fails to play the animation of them launching for some reason, and I level up, getting Science to 50 and Speech to 40. I also remember to put my high lockpick skill to use, using a magazine to get lucky, which sells for lots of caps, and to get into this back room for some more goodies. The EXP from this even levels me up again, where I get Medicine to 55, Speech to 50, and the Educated perk. Since I'm still such a glutton for EXP, I head to Helios One to do their quest, which lets me show another way to frenzy enemies, disabling targeting data. While the turrets don't do much, it at least gets them out of the way and distracts the robots in my path. The rest of Helios I get through by knocking the bots down and running past, making sure to get the keycard on the way, and using said keycard to activate a robot to fix the computer, letting me turn on the reflectors and possibly fry my retinas in the process. I also grab some of the broken solar panels for the boomers down the line. Alright, enough stalling, let's get on with the main quest. Manny points me in the direction of Boulder City, so I head there and see that Kowalski doesn't even need to be punched to frenzy, you just need to punch his memorial. As soon as I get into Boulder City, I make Jessup kill his friend and then frenzy all the cons, destroying them not only from the inside but from all the service rifles summarily executing them. All it takes is luring Jessup outside, getting jump scared,
What the fuck are you doing?
and freeing some hostages to almost get to level 8. After stopping by Hoover Dam for a snow globe and El Dorado to fast travel there later, I level up on my way to Vegas, getting Speech to 70 and the Toughness perk. Entering Freeside, I frenzy a thug, causing the normally pathetic Dixon to slice his head clean off with a kitchen knife. I also frenzy the giant rat some kids are trying to eat, and funnily enough, it begins to chase them instead. Sadly, it promptly gets gunned down by the followers. Speaking of the followers, I waltz into Julia's quarters and take her snow globe. There is one thing that I have been lacking in this playthrough though, good armor. I aim to rectify that. First, I punch Simon so all his backup rushes out of the store. Then, I VATS all of them all at once so they turn extra homicidal, and simply hide behind a dumpster as they all turn each other into Nickelodeon slime. I even get Simon to kill his own crier, and to finish him off, I knock him into the King's territory where they get their well-deserved revenge. Now that the Kings believe the Van Graff has declared war on them, I head inside to finish the job, making Jean-Baptiste kill his own sister. At that point, my strategy becomes knock him down, take a few things, knock him down, repeat. Once I have enough stuff, I leave Jean-Baptiste in charge of a looted and unmanned store in the middle of Freeside, where I imagined he made an epic last stand against a mob of angry kings and Freeside thugs. What's more important is that now I have some decent quality combat armor and a bunch of weapons and ammo to sell. With more than enough money to enter the strip now, I convince Swank that Benny's a fink, and frenzy him and all his guards in one fell swoop. Ironically, the master of betrayal ends up being betrayed by his own lackeys. With the chip in hand, Yes Man in play, and the Securitrons upgraded, I level up, getting speech to 80 and sneak to 40. This is important as now I can boost my speech to 100 using a Meeting People magazine. I then trade in all my snow globes for a cool 8,000 caps, and effortlessly reach Mr. House by knocking all his Securitrons down like dominoes. Unfortunately, frenzying Mr. House didn't make him leap out of his pod and chase me, so I have to give him the old electric chair. Also, when Yes Man arrived, for some reason, this happened.
Hi! This is big, huh? Wow! Mr. House had quite a setup here. See you soon.
Never change, New Vegas. Never change. Anyway, my next target is the Boomers, but on the way, I pick up the subdermal armor implant. When I get there, I push George into the artillery field he so loved to bet on and watch him get blown to smithereens. The same thing almost happens to me, but some well-timed doctor's bags and stim packs see me through. Improving the Boomers' curriculum, helping the injured patients, and listening to Pete's speech technically gets me all the fame I need, but I still do Sunshine Boogie using the parts from Helios One for some extra EXP. Finally, raising the bomber is as simple as ever thanks to my high endurance letting me breathe underwater, and my high sneak letting me avoid the Cazadors behind me. Getting the Boomers on my side levels me up, where I get sneak to 50, repair to 50, and medicine to 65. I then accept a hit on the fiend leader Cook as he's on the way to the cons anyways. By frenzying his pet cow Queenie, Cook will kill her himself, which causes him to become frenzied in turn and attack all his fellow fiends. To finish him off, I punt him into a nearby group of fiends that puts him down, and then I run for the hills. To kill Violet, I tried to make her own dogs turn against her, but for some reason only one of them spawned, so I come up with a different plan. I push her all the way to Driver and Effie's camp and let them duke it out, killing 2 birds with 1 golf club. I then deal with the cons the same way I did at Boulder City.
What was
You
that?
dirty
You
coward.
dirty coward. What was
You
that?
dirty coward. What the hell?
Over here!
I got you now.
Damn. hit. Damn.
What was that for?
After enough of them die, the game tells me they're officially wiped out, so I say good enough and leave. I then turn in my fiend bounties and on the way to deal with the casinos, give Old Ben a particularly ironic death by putting him in the Securitron's line of fire. The first casino to deal with is the Ultralux, and thankfully I have enough sneak to slip my glove into the casino, as it counts as an improved holdout weapon. Taking care of them is as simple as punching Mortimer and Marjorie into a group and letting them get beaten to death. And since I did the initial attacks from stealth, the rest of them just see me defending myself against a hostile, and thus don't attack me. In a final act of carnage, I bitch slap Heck Gunderson and his hired hand, so they can have at least one last stand against the people who are trying to eat his son. It doesn't go well for them, but it does go very well for me, as I can complete the quest Feeble Will for some more EXP. Next is the Omertas, but before dealing with them, I decide to do the quest Bye Bye Love. Why? Well, for one, having a bit more EXP is nice, and for two, I've literally never done this quest before, mostly because it always broke on me. I'm sure you already know how this loading screen fest goes, so I won't bore you by covering it in detail. Going through that uneventful slog makes me so pissed that I say to hell with doing the Omerta's quest and go full Nurbit on them. Lastly, we have the Brotherhood, and if you were wondering why I got my science skills so high, this is why. With a Programmer's Digest magazine, I can hack into the turret system and make it turn against them, which wipes out most of the people on the first floor. Any stragglers I can easily push into the turret's line of fire.
The principles of fusion.
For the second floor, since there's always someone with a Gauss rifle in the scribe's workshop, they clean up the lightly armored nerds pretty handily.
Hey!
Take this.
Dodge this!
All that's left is making the Brotherhood commit mutiny against their elder, leading the rest into Hardin's room for him to kill him, leaving him as the only survivor, and using a stealth boy to snatch the keycard from him so I can blow up the base, finishing them off for good. The bunker under the fort is simple, as any robots I can't make turn on each other I can run past, tanking their attacks with an inordinate amount of stimpaks. And then I can recreate history as accurately as possible by giving Kaisar his own "Et tu, Brute" moment.
Death to profligates!
Another kill to my name.
You like that?
Come on!
Had enough?
Come on. I'm hit.
Fun fact, you can kill enemies through fall damage using the knockback of Mobius's glove. It doesn't count as a kill in the Pip-Boy, so I thought it was worth mentioning. The unfortunate downside to all that fighting is that my combat armor is in critical condition, so I stop by the Gunrunners to get some, and steal some sets from the Boomers as well. As I head back to Yes Man to finish the game, something weird happens. One of the Securitrons I frenzied while killing Mr. House attacks Yes Man as if he was an NPC, and when I try to talk to him, the game says he's fleeing? What's even weirder is that some missiles end up turning Yes Man's entire setup the other way around. Punching him makes him appear red on the compass for a split second, and if I talk to him during that second, things work as normal. I'm not even going to question the game at this point. After installing the override chip, the battle for Hoover Dam begins, and my Securitrons, to nobody's surprise, make it an absolute cakewalk. Between the NCR and the robots shooting them, and them turning on each other, the Legion stood as much chance as a hamster in a microwave. Finally, we come to the Legate, and while I raise speech as a failsafe, I first wanted to see if I can get him killed legitimately. So I take every chem in my inventory, Sparta kick his ass off a cliff, and watch as his men tear him to shreds like Legion hounds fighting over carrion. Once they've finished the job, I take more turbo, get them to thin themselves out, and rush to General Oliver. I use the exact same strategy on his Rangers, not that it matters as the Securitrons turn them to ash anyways, and prove that yes, you can beat Fallout New Vegas by only frenzying enemies. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to not miss content like this in the future. If you didn't like the video, leave a dislike and give constructive criticism so I can improve. You can also support my Patreon or become a channel member, in which case I'll shout you out and make your suggestions much more likely to become a reality. Even if you aren't a Patreon supporter or channel member, I still read all of your ideas for new runs in the comments. Check me out on Reddit or Discord using the links in the description, or check out my second channel, The Loophole, where I post everything that doesn't fit on this one. This is Causal Loop, signing off. Peace.